behind every successful man, there's a bad broad. What is it? What did she say? A badass broad. I went a little southern there in the middle.
Yeah. What were you going for? New York.
She does that like New York, but it's kind of like baby talk at the same time. I don't know. I did not nail that one.
Do you think Margot Robbie had a accent coach for this role?
I hope so. I always forget that she's not American, and
she's Australian. Yeah, that would like usually they're like British or American, and there's like the odd Australian, like the Hemsworths that get thrown in there, and I'm like, oh god.
Yeah, sometimes in interviews I'm like, oh shit. Yeah, she rarely does her actual accent. She definitely is usually. I mean, Wolf of Wall Street too. She's got that like. New York.
Yeah,
I'm from New York.
Yeah, so she had that to work with previous to this.
So today, if you can't tell by my really good impression, we're going to be talking about Birds of Prey. The title's a lot longer.
It's Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of Harley Quinn. I believe.
That's probably right.
I'm pretty sure that's correct.
Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
You know, the Harley Quinn movie.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about... Oh, this is The Swamp.
Oh, yeah. If you didn't know.
If you're new here, we're The Swamp. The Swamp is an acronym.
For some whack-ass movie podcasting.
And we talk about movies. And that's it. Yeah. That's the show.
Chat our shit.
And so today we're talking about Birds of Prey as part of our Ewan McGregor month.
Our final Ewan McGregor movie.
Which I'm going to be upfront here.
Okay. Lay it on me.
That this movie is not a peak of his career.
No.
He's fine in it. He did a great job.
I really honestly liked his performance in this.
Me
but
too.
It's not... He's the villain in this, if you didn't know.
If you're looking at Ewan McGregor's body of work, though, some people would be right to be like, why did they pick that movie? And I'm not that smart. And here's the thing.
I feel like we've both made that abundantly clear on this podcast, that we're not smart.
I'm kind of a dick. And so if we're going to watch Trainspotting, I can't make fun of people with addiction for an hour. It's just not going to work.
It's a great movie. I like it.
So if you want to go watch a really great Ewan McGregor movie, there's so many... Trainspotting. Men Who Stare at Goats. Beginners. I Love You, Philip Morris. So many good ones that we just... We
can't talk about.
I mean, we could, but it might not be great. So we were like, Birds of Prey, that's something for me to work with.
Like a lot of people suggested when we were starting this podcast that we review Parasite, and we just can't do that.
I'm like, I'm just going to have to read a bunch of articles and then regurgitate to you some half-assed shit that I have no smart thoughts.
Listen.
Good movie. Go watch it.
I wish I could talk about it. I wish I could. Yeah. But that's just not the situation we're in here. So we chose Birds of Prey.
We're really putting ourselves down. But I think we're okay. But I think we frequently say that we're a movie podcast, not a film podcast. I'm not here to provide any really deep critical insight.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you which characters I want to bang.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you what liquor to drink. I'm going to tell you who I want to fuck, and
I'm going to talk about the costumes.
And yes, am I going to talk about the costumes?
For this movie, were insane.
It was kind of like some people didn't like it. Some people were like, it's hokey and tacky, and I'm like,
that's the point of the movie.
It was perfect. It was perfect.
It was beautifully tacky.
Every person's outfit was
spot on.
Spot on.
I really liked Rosie's last outfit, like when she's drinking out of the flask at the end, like leaving work in her little like camo bomber sort of jacket.
Yeah. So,
but should we give a recap?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, really quick. This movie's all over the place. If I'm going to be honest,
that was one of the issues that I had.
It was very like 18 different plot lines that all intersect at one point or another, and
it's not Pulp Fiction.
I'm like, I just don't really care.
Yeah.
But it was very like mob movie. Yeah. I do like that they were like, we're gonna do a quote unquote superhero movie, but it's gonna be like a girl boss. We're gonna what is that, all female reboot of Ghostbusters type beat.
But at least this was an original one.
But it wasn't a superhero movie. It was like a mafia movie. It was like a crime boss mafia movie, which I think that's good that they kind of went in a different direction than the classic superhero, like hero villain. They still had that dynamic, but it wasn't as much like in that. I think it's good that they tried to do something different because that way the like superhero dude bros couldn't get all mad if it wasn't like exactly like the comics or whatever.
They still got mad because they'll get mad at anything. Yeah. But at least their madness was not valid this time.
But so Harley Quinn and the Joker are broken up, which is really great because I don't want to see Jared Leto on my TV screen.
I couldn't take that.
Especially as the Joker, I don't want to see it. Just flat out. So that's good. The movie starts off, it's over. We never see him. Yeah, other than like God. Referential. But no more Jared Leto. Perfect. Harley Quinn is a public figure.
Yeah. She's looking for a sense of purpose after this breakup.
Yeah, and a lot of people are, like, scared to fuck with her because the Joker will fuck their shit up, but now that people are realizing that they're broken up, they're like, oh, we can fuck up Harley Quinn because she has no protection anymore, and she's like, oh, God, that sure is a bummer. And then there's, like, this whole situation with that Ewan McGregor is a nightclub owner who's also a mob boss, who's also a supervillain, I guess. Who wears a mask.
Yeah, has rich parents.
Rich parents. I was kind of doing some, like, background, because I was curious as to see how he was in the comics. I'm not a huge comic person. I don't have a ton of knowledge in that arena. But so I was looking up, like, what his deal was. And in the comics, I guess, his parents were rich and they died. And he inherited all of their money, but then he tanked their business. And then he, like, felt sad about it, and then he, like, became a mob boss, whatever. And he, like, makes the mask out of the wood from his father's coffin, and then he, like, wears the mask, and then Batman and him get in a fight, and the mask, like, burns into his face, so he has it on all the time. Very drama. But in this it's just Ewan McGregor fucking around, being a dick, being a nightclub owner.
And pretty much he's trying to get this diamond that this little girl steals from one of his henchmen, and then they have to go and they have to get the little girl because she swallowed the diamond.
Which I love the moment. So she's like a pickpocket. That's like her whole thing. She's like a foster kid, orphan. Kid of the streets, and she pickpockets all the people, and she wears a cast, and she shoves everything into her cast, which I think is really funny. But so she gets this, she pickpockets the diamond, and then she's holding it, and you and I at the same time were like, oh, she's gonna swallow it, and then she proceeds to swallow, and we're like, nice!
We know movies.
Yeah, so she swallows the diamond, and then there's this whole situation where Canary is the nightclub singer, but they realize that she can kick ass, so...
They're like, oh, she'll be my driver, and by my, it's the black man, Ewan McGregor.
Yeah, Ewan McGregor is like, I'm gonna hire you to basically be one of my henchmen, so she's looking for the diamond for him. Harley Quinn is also looking for the diamond because she's gonna get killed by Ewan McGregor if she doesn't find it, and then Rosie Perez, who is a cop, investigator, or whatever, she's also looking for it because she's the police, and she has some sort of personal stake in this, right? It's like a big part of a case she's working on or something.
It's like a case against Ewan McGregor's character type thing. Plus she knows the kid.
And then, there's just all of this intertwining of relationships that Canary and Rosie Perez live in the same building or something?
I think they just kind of know each other.
They're
Rosie Perez knew her mom.
Who could also scream.
Kick ass, yes.
Yeah. And, like, the kid lives in the same building as Canary. That's the whole thing. Yeah. But there's all this intertwinage of women. Oh, there's also Ramona Flowers from fucking Scott Pilgrim. And she is Huntress. She uses a little crossbow, and she has some sort of mafia connections, and she's trying to kill people. And it's just, everyone has different motives.
It's a lot.
It's a lot to keep track of.
We're not going to do you any better by continuing to try and give you the spiel about what it's
but then, all the girls in the end, they team up together, girl boss moment, they fight the mob army, they get the diamond, she poops out the diamand, they get it, Harley Quinn adopts the child, and then that's the end of the movie, and it was a lot, but it was...
I didn't hate it.
I didn't hate it either. I really thought I had very negative expectations going into this because
of the girl bossness?
No, because of Suicide Squad.
That
movie is hot garbage. I think I put
Could you even call it hot garbage or just, like cold garbage?
Well, hot garbage is worse because it smells.
You think?
It smells worse.
I guess.
I fully recall it being the worst movie I've ever paid money to see.
See, I'm very glad that I never saw it.
It was just so bad. It was just such a mess. You think this movie was kind of messy? This movie was very coherent. compared to Suicide
I knew
Squad.
what was going on.
Yeah.
I got the general plot of it.
So it was bad. And so, and I was never really here for like the, like, we're gonna make it quirky this time, you know, type, like, you know, we're gonna do a superhero movie, but it's about the bad guys. Like, it's, you know, that can only go so many ways.
Mm-hmm. The new Suicide Squad looks pretty good. Do you know they're remaking it?
I know they're remaking Batman.
No, they're remaking Suicide Squad.
So soon?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it was kind of...
Yeah, no, they've already... There's a trailer out. I'll show you later, yeah.
Oh.
Margot Robbie's in that one, too, because now she's just... At this point, she's just Harley Quinn forever, everything.
Yeah.
And which, as she should be. She's so spot on.
I love... This was totally like a Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool moment, where he was Deadpool in an X-Men movie as like just like a side character or whatever, and he didn't really like the way... Because he was like a big... you know, comic fan or whatever, and he's like, I don't really think they did the character justice, so he fully funded and like wrote, I mean, I don't know if he wrote it, but he was a big part of the Deadpool movies,
process,
and he was like, I want to be Deadpool and I want to do it right, and so that was like kind of how this went with Harley Quinn, because I think she really enjoyed the character, but she didn't really like the justice or lack thereof that it was in Suicide Squad. So I know she produced this. I know she was a big part of like getting it off the ground, director, like picking the director, the writers, all of that jazz. So I think she kind of felt a certain amount of ownership over this character.
As she should.
So she definitely was like spearheaded this movie, which, you know, good for her. And like you said, she's definitely the face of Harley Quinn for
the foreseeable future. Yeah. I really enjoyed her performance. I thought this movie, as kind of quirky as it was, I thought it had some really good performances, and I think Margot Robbie is just incredible.
A beast. She's a beast.
She's such a chameleon in any role she takes on. She really gives like every performance her all, and you can definitely see that.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen something where I didn't think she was amazing.
Yeah.
Like she fully is a standout in almost everything she does, from what I've seen. Not that I've, gone through her discography, but yeah, she seems really good. I think a really cool part of this was that she really likes doing the stunts.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, that's one of my favorite parts of filmmaking, so let's really lean into it for this. And I think basically, I was looking into it, other than like the big acrobatic moments, she basically did all of it, which...
That's like, crazy.
When actors say like, oh yeah, like I did a lot of my own stunts for the movie, that usually means like I learned some of the fighting choreography and they didn't have to have the stunt double.
Yeah.
Like, she literally did most of the stunts for this movie, which is crazy. There's some videos on, like, Twitter of her, like, behind the scenes of her, like, rehearsing the stunts. It's nuts! Swinging her body around fucking people. Holy shit.
Her. Well, you brought up the fact that, there's this one scene towards the end where they're having this big fight, where she gets on rollerblades. And starts rollerblading while she fights.
Yeah, because there's like a roller derby scene at the beginning, which doesn't really need to be there other than like setting up exposition that she knows how to roller skate, I guess. But then at the end, yeah, she puts on roller skates and like fucking fucks some people up. And she had really learned how to ice skate really well for I, Tonya, like really good.
Yeah.
And so
as one has to.
Yeah, well, because she, I mean, not to say she did her own stunts for I, Tonya, but like she was on the skates. She was doing the thing.
Yeah.
And so she was like, yeah, let's incorporate some roller skates into this moment, because I think that would be very like Harley Quinn, very fun. So she did all of that herself as well, which was like so cool.
Really nice touch.
Yeah, like super unnecessary, but I loved it.
Yeah.
Like there was no reason for her to be on roller skates, but just like I liked it.
Yeah, a lot of this movie was just very fun, and that's why I enjoyed it so much. Like, yeah, it was a little all over the place, but that was fine because it was so fun.
Yeah, very over the top, and like the costumes, you know. Do any of those people really need to be wearing that level of drama conflama? No. But do I love it? Yes.
And that's all the reason that it needs to be in there.
Like Ewan McGregor in a blue velour suit jacket.
I did love his outfits.
Yes. So good.
Yeah. Ewan's character was a little interesting because I was under the impression that it was like known that this character was a gay character, but then it never said anything about that. It kind of just maybe implied it. Like, yeah, like it definitely implied it.
Like, but... yeah, a little like implications here and there. like, yeah, I'm not, it's like somewhere in between queer coded and actually being a gay character.
Yeah.
Like, it was a little more heavy-handed than just queer coded.
Yeah.
But there was no explicit, like, mention of it.
Like, if he could have just kissed his little sidekick at least once,
like
then it would have been fun.
side hugged for a minute at one moment. And I thought that was going to be like the big reveal or whatever.
No,
like that they're husbands or something. But yeah, it was kind of odd. And I know you had mentioned like the voice inflection, like that a lot of straight actors do to imply that they're gay. Like a little bit of a lisp, a little bit of a higher whatever. It's super lame and it's super outdated and it's very was it James Corden in The Prom type beat, like let's move on from that, which I didn't really think this character, like he was here.
I was expecting that, but that wasn't what happened.
I was too. I just liked that he was here for the drama. Yeah. He was here for the performance. Like gay or not gay, whatever this character was about.
Yeah. He's messy as fuck.
Yeah, and I loved it. I loved it.
There was that one scene in his house where showing, was it Canary, like all of his little statues or whatever, and he's like, yeah, it's 1,000 years old and it's a shrunken head and now it's just decoration in my house. Ew.
I did like that scene in particular. I was like, are they trying to like make a subtle comment about like white people who collect things from like quote unquote like cultures?
I was wondering that too.
Like white people who are really like into like, oh, like I took a trip to Africa and I brought back this vase and it has tribal spirit energy in it and now it's like a focal point of my house because now I have culture, like that type of thing. I've got very much that because his whole thing was masks. Yeah, because he's Black Mask. Yeah, so he's all about, and at the end, all of his like goons are all wearing these like African tribal masks that he just like had in his house or something. Like he's got a supply stash. Like. And I just like didn't really vibe with that. No, like you could like ski masks or just a variety. Everyone's wearing like different but they were all in the African tribal masks. I'm like, what is this now?
It very much felt like what is it, the opening to, like, The Dark Knight or something like that, where Joker has all of his goons in his mask, but just, like, not good at all. Yeah. Like, I don't know if they were trying to, like, reference that and do, like, a little subtle nod or something like that.
Yeah, or just, because I know...
Or maybe I'm just reading too far into it.
Yeah, I know, because the reason I had looked up the character was I wanted to know if he was explicitly gay in the comics, because I didn't know if that was something... Probably not, right? No, there was no mention of it. From my brief skim of the Wikipedia page. But I guess his whole thing was that it's like the Mask Army or some name like that, and that he has all of his people wear the masks or whatever. So like that's a thing, but it's just like the choice of having them be these like cultural symbols. I don't know, like his house, having them all in his house, I think was kind of something to paint him as like that kind of guy, like like a dick. They never explicitly said anything about it though, but. Yeah, it was a weird choice to me. It didn't bother me too much, but I remember being like, okay. Yeah. All right,
Yeah, it's like, all right, you did that. Another thing I wanted to talk about in terms of, like, choice for this movie was the scene where Harley Quinn storms the police station, and she's using this thing, I think it said on it was a fun gun, or whatever. Like a bazooka. Like a bazooka, and it shot beanbags, and colorful gas and rainbow confetti and it took the cops out. And I want to know if in production this was a very conscious choice to have her not shoot cops. Oh, you know what I mean? Because she has no problem like shooting the quote unquote real bad guys and everything like that and killing the other bad guys. Guess what, Harley Quinn? They're also bad guys.
I actually didn't even think of that, but that's a really good point. I thought it was definitely a conscious decision to have her storm the police office, and she calls them pigs at one point.
Yeah, I felt like that was just like a subtle little like, oh, I'm not gonna kill him, but I'm gonna call him out. Yeah, like, oh, little piggies. Yeah, which just feels half-assed.
Because this movie certainly does paint the cops as completely useless. Yeah, like the Rosie Perez character, basically, they mentioned that she had a big.
Bust.
Like she did some real good shit as an investigator, and a man took the credit. So she was always kind of put in the background, which is like, okay, whatever, cool. But, like, it's always, like, that she is the only one who's good at her job and everyone else is trash.
Yeah.
Like, that scene where they're investigating the crime scene, and she's, like, oh, like, trying to pick up on different evidence and make notes, and, like, all of the other cops with her are, like, are we done here?
Yeah, they're, like, twiddling their thumbs.
Yeah, and definitely I think all the police officers in this movie are painted as virtually, like, incapable of doing their jobs. Harley Quinn walks in there and just fucking one by one takes them all out, and they all, like, put up their hands.
Yeah, tuck their tails behind their legs.
Yeah, which is, like, not at all how that would happen in real life, but it's a fucking movie.
Yeah.
So I can see why they chose to paint cops in that light to kind of make a point, or, like, paint the police in that certain way. But yeah, I didn't even think of the fact that she doesn't kill them, she just confetti bombs them.
Yeah, which, like, visually I get it because it's a very fun movie, but I think you could have done that in any scene. You could have shot the cops and you could have had her confetti bomb some other people.
I don't think they're that brave. They are not that brave. I think they knew that this movie was a big risk to do, like, the all-girl moment and to do a female director.
And then have her shoot cops.
And then if they were going to kill cops too, like, people would have been upset.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with it.
I think I'm bringing up, like, the other Batman movies or something like that. Like, there have been so many other movies that have, like, had, you know, it's like cops die.
Yeah, I think maybe because this one was kind of funny. This movie was a little bit of a comedy.
Yeah.
Maybe
a little too dark.
They thought it would be in bad taste.
Yeah.
I could see why they wouldn't want to take that risk and why they would choose that specific scene to do that. This will be the confetti gun scene.
I just thought it was an interesting choice.
Yeah.
And there's something to read into there.
I completely agree. I didn't even really think about that. I definitely thought about the presence of police. Yeah. Like, I'm like, okay, like, the cops, whatever.
Yeah, I think I would have liked this movie more if it was just, like, strictly, like, crime bosses and things like that, and the cops just weren't involved.
Yeah, because that's always kind of the implication about Gotham, is that, like, the police don't really, there's, like, what's his, Officer Gordon?
Yeah.
Or whatever. There's him.
And that's it.
And that's, like, it. And so, I guess I can get why they incorporated it, because you had to integrate the Rosie Perez character. I don't even know her fucking name. What even was her name? I don't know. Kamala Harris.
It's Rosie Perez.
Rosie Perez is my pick for my 2020 election movie that I will never write or make.
Oh my god, you had a great lineup for that.
Yes. You did the brilliant Jodie Foster as Marianne Williamson.
They're just, they're the same. They're fucking twins.
So I have this Twitter thread, and Kamala Harris as Rosie Perez, I cannot take full credit for her because I was at the movies with my friend Rachel, and a trailer for some movie came up, and Rosie Perez was in it, and she goes, is that Kamala Harris? And I was like, no, but great comparison.
Yeah, no. Understandable mistake.
So Rosie, if you're around, I got a job for you. Booked and busy. Let's make it
happen.
Let's make a 2020 election movie. You can be my Kamala.
You think Margot Robbie would fund this movie?
Oh my god, I hope so. Who could she be? She could be like an Ivanka.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, she could play like I don't know. She's too good.
Yeah. No, we won't lower her down to that role. She's better than that.
But this movie was directed by a woman, so that's cool.
Yeah,
like,
nice.
A woman of color, so that's nice. Right? Woo! We love to see it. But that is, like, a reason that the budget was a lot smaller.
No, that doesn't shock me in the slightest.
And obviously doing, like, an all-female cast, like a girl group movie moment, like, obviously it wasn't gonna get the sort of funding and attention like a Suicide Squad or a Batman or whatever.
Did this outdo Suicide Squad in the box office,
Absolutely not.
You didn't think so?
No. So the budget was around $84 million, I believe, which is, like, less than a quarter of the Suicide Squad budget. And it just about broke even domestically.
It brought in $201.8 million.
Yeah, which is considered a big failure. The opening weekend or whatever was projected to do however much, and it did. I
remember seeing that on like Twitter, and everyone's like, we can't let this tank.
Yeah, it did
but
bad.
It tanked.
And unfortunately, I think a lot of studios will use that as an example as to why they shouldn't be funding projects like this, which is a huge bummer.
Do you think it's more because it was attached to sort of attached to Suicide Squad that it flopped because Suicide Squad did so badly?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, then also that's why I didn't see it. That's why I didn't.
And then also, it's women.
Yeah, I didn't pay to go see it in the theaters for that reason, because I didn't like Suicide Squad, so I was like, well, I probably won't like this one either. But I also think, like, a lot of the, like, superhero dude bros who were, like, angry about this, like, they, you know, Harley Quinn is a stupid character and she shouldn't have her own movie. Like, you know, incels.
Yeah.
Basically.
I know the type.
They probably make up a good chunk of the type of people who really liked Suicide Squad. So to think that their audience-ship would not carry over to this movie.
They said, I relate to Joker.
It is just a shame that that Joker movie did so well.
It validated so many people.
And it's just like, ew. That's not what we need. Movies like this are, like, what we need more of.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
even though I can't say that this was any, like, fine work of cinema, it certainly was a lot of fun, and I think it did what it set out to do, you know?
Yeah. I was entertained.
Yeah.
And that's all I was looking for.
It was a little too, like, nail on the head for me as far as, like, we're making this a feminist moment. Like, you know, female director, all female cast, female driven stories, girl energy, power boss. Like, and I get that you kind of have to lean into it like that in order for it to be successful.
Yeah.
And in order to set the precedent going forward about, like, having female directors and female driven stories and stuff, it's important to be loud about it.
Yeah.
But it is a little just so heavy-handed to the point where I'm like, it's a little tiring.
Yeah, I agree with you there. But when did this movie come out? This says 2020, but I don't think that's right.
No, that feels right to me.
2020?
Yeah, that does feel right to me, because I remember.
I guess it was 2020.
I remember it being one of the last movies to be available to see in theaters before the pandemic, I believe.
That feels like decades ago.
Yeah.
I thought this was like 2018 release.
No.
Oh God.
I believe it was like early 2020, because I recall it being like that the last handful of movies that people saw in the theater before the pandemic started. I remember Suicide Squad being in that, or Birds of Prey. Yeah,
because I was gonna say, like, I thought that it was like a little ahead of its time in terms of, like, because now, like, the girl boss thing is like it's a meme at this point, and it's like girl boss. But, like, if this was like 2019 or 2018, I feel like it could have been
even more.
Like, I'd say less of a joke in that way that it's girl boss, and not to call this movie a joke. But, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it would have been a little better received, I think, if it came out a little earlier.
Yeah, I see that. Especially, I think the Lady Ghostbusters definitely kind of...
they really shot us in the foot, like, there.
One step forward, 3,000 steps backwards. Like, you just...
Like, I like you, Kate McKinnon, but, like, ugh.
It's a bummer when, like, these cool female-led projects just end up not being that good. Because
well, just write an original story. I don't know why you would ever do Lady Ghostbusters. That's just... I want to know what the pitch in that room was like.
Who in Hollywood just decided to let that happen? I mean, worse crimes have been committed than Lady Ghostbusters, but not by much.
It's like a top 5.
But yeah, I did feel it was a little like, okay, so you got, like, the female lead character. She's gonna put together a team of female assassins. They're gonna do cool girl boss shit. But then also it was like, Ewan McGregor's gonna be queer-coded now. And also we have something to say about cops, but do we really? And I don't know. It was all over the place in that manner, where I was like, pick one thing.
Were they not brave enough to have Ewan just give his little buddy a kiss?
Yeah. even a little peck on the cheek.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I do think it was a step in the right direction, though.
Yeah, I agree. The soundtrack for this movie,
it was really good, and I think it did the same thing that a lot of these superhero movies that decide to use, like, I know Suicide Squad, I remember them thinking they must have blown all their budget money on this soundtrack because this movie is trash, but the music was like really, you know, stuff they probably had to pay a fuck ton of money for. So I liked it. There were certain moments where I'm like, this is a little too obtuse for me. like It's a Man's World.
Yeah.
And moments like that, I was like, ugh, okay, I get it, but as a whole, I think it added to my viewing experience, and I did like it.
I like that they used a lot of original music and they used a lot of covers, and that's definitely because they didn't have much of a budget, so they didn't have a huge music budget. Yeah. But they obviously that Doja Cat song that blew up, Boss Bitch, which just goes so hard.
Yeah.
But I really liked they had that cover of Hit Me With Your Best Shot. That they were playing, which really stuck out for me.
Again, that was something where I was like, okay, the music is just describing what's happening on the screen.
But I don't always hate when it does that.
Yeah, but do it once. But it happened 5 or 6 times.
That's true.
Or okay, I get it. But I liked that one a lot. I thought that the cover was really good. I loved Barracuda at the end.
Yeah.
For the fight scene.
Yeah.
I think that fight scene really made up for a lot of the beginning for me. A lot of the confusion and the unnecessary... I think this movie could have been edited a lot. There was a lot of shit that I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
And... But that final fight scene, I think, was really good.
Yeah, that was probably the highlight, for sure.
I would say, if you don't want to watch this movie, which is somewhat understandable, you could, Google, Margot Robbie... does own stunts and watch some of those behind the scene movies. I guess the glitter bazooka scene with the cops, I think, is also worth taking a look at just to
see it,
just to be critical or form an opinion. It was visually, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I think that last scene with the roller with the roller skates and all of the I think Ewan McGregor's fucking death was so good.
That was good.
So good. He literally just it was so anticlimactic that it was so good. He just gets grenade blown up while being launched into a river. And it was just very okay, he's dead.
Yeah.
Nice. Which is I hate the the big I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, and then they do it, and I'm like, okay, that took 10 minutes.
It didn't have to be
realistically,
that.
he probably could have fought back within that time.
Yeah. Which the kid was the one that pulled off the kill.
Which you mentioned, you're is all she's gonna take is a fucking grenade? Come on, girl. Strap up. But then she ends up coming full circle and she uses the grenade that they, showed her taking, so that was cool.
Yeah, I want to talk about that character a bit, because this poor girl is having the ride of her fucking life.
Well, she's about it. Harley Quinn is her adoptive mother now. She's got to get used to this shit.
But all this girl had to do was shit.
Was take a shit.
And she couldn't. If I was in this scenario, I would be shitting because I'd be so scared. I'm not made for action. Maybe minor adventure. With zero threat involved.
So out of all the people who are searching for her, Harley Quinn gets to her first and is basically you swallowed this diamond, so I'm gonna have you poop it out. And she feeds her a bunch of fucking Duralax and prune juice, and this girl just does not poop for
a whole day.
For what happens in the movie, hours.
Just
hours.
Bro, just give her one Dunkin' Donuts coffee.
Oh my god, I was gonna ask you, I know this is kind of some people don't like to talk about their bodily functions, but when you're constipated, what is the thing that you turn to in times where you're it just has to, I have to make this happen?
Bro, a Dunk's coffee.
I literally have written down, what makes you poop? For me, it's a medium iced Dunkies. I literally can't, I can't go to Dunkin' Donuts because I will shit myself. I can't even, I'm not even done drinking my cold brew, and there's shit coming out of my ass. Sorry. I know that's gross for some people, but it's just the truth. And it's just Dunkin' Donuts. I don't know what it is. Other iced coffee, it's normal. It's a normal amount.
Yeah, guys, is this normal for us?
But no, I know some people a Big Mac will really do it.
A Big Mac will get me constipated in the first place.
Well, it's one way or the other. The pendulum swings one way or the other. It's just a risk you're gonna have to take.
Everyone's different. Oh my god.
Yeah, as someone who lives literally in our small-ish town, There's fucking 4 Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, they put up a new one recently.
Oh my god, I just don't understand. I get it. Boston runs on Dunkin'. New England runs on Dunkin'. Whatever. Why? Why so many?
I can't run because I have to shit.
It's like usually,
no, I don't, Dunks.
Like usually with coffee, it's like, okay, the first one greases the wheels, and then the second one gets them turning. You know, it's got to be like two full cups in. It's before the Dunkies even touches my lips.
You smell it.
It has activated something within me. Okay, I'm so sorry. But yeah, all this girl has to do is take a shit, and she just doesn't for like the whole movie. And I think that is just not realistic.
No.
She would have.
Does she ever have a morning poop? Well, I mean, I guess she does. Like, it
happens.
The movie finishes the next day, so I guess it is.
It does happen eventually. It's just a bit odd. But I kind of liked this character because she acted like a 12-year-old. Yeah. She was a kid. During the fight scenes, she was scared.
Yep.
And she hid and behaved as if a 12-year-old probably would in that situation. Yep. She had her badass moments, you know, oh, she's so smart, she's a pickpocket, she's a kid of the streets. She pulls the grenade at the end and kills Ewan McGregor. Oh, that's really cool, whatever.
But also, the thing about her being a pickpocket was pretty unrealistic, because if you watched her pickpocket, she just stuffed her hands in people's pockets. There was nothing...
No finesse.
Nothing slick about it.
She, like, does a card trick at one point to, like, prove how sleight of hand she is. In the pickpocketing scenes, her little grubby hands are fully deep in their pocket. Like, it is not subtle. She just takes a watch off of a lady's hand, and then 5 minutes later, the lady's like, she stole my watch! Like, okay, right, like you didn't notice.
Like, good thing she's Harley Quinn's little henchwoman now, because she needs all the training she can get.
I did like it was very clever that she would shove things in her cast. I thought that was
I did
funny.
like that. I did like that.
It kind of reminded me of the Aquafina character from Ocean's 11, Ocean's 8 or whatever.
Girl Ocean's 11.
Yeah. Girl boss.
Lady Ocean's 11.
Ladies 11. And then, which, you know, Aquafina is also Asian, and then I was like, is there a thing about, like, young Asian women being pickpockets? But then I Googled it, and that's really the only 2 instances in film. Okay. I was like, is this a trend? Yeah. Is this, like, some sort of weird stereotype?
Yeah, they both just popped up sort of at the same time, so you're like, huh?
But I liked that this character kind of did behave her age, because there's nothing I really hate more than, like, the precocious child, like, the wise beyond their years child, or, like, if she were to have a really badass, like, fight moment, if she were to, like, pop off on some of the goons in the fight scene, I would have been like, come on. But I liked that she genuinely was like, this is scary. Yeah. And I'm a kid, and this is scary. And there were times where she was like, I'm confused, what's going on? And I appreciated that. I mean, not that movies have to be realistic, but I do just like, it just really takes me out of it when a child is like being a badass or like really, really smart or something.
Like, I'm 22 and I would be scared out of my fucking wits in this. You think a child could handle that? Absolutely not. I did feel, and I said this to you, a bit like Harley Quinn in the way of this podcast, because I am also a bad influence to some 16-year-old they-them lesbians.
We love you.
We love you. Thank you for listening.
Sometimes I like to like look through the profiles of people who follow us on Instagram and stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, you're in high school. That wasn't us too long ago, but it feels like so long ago. And I'm like, oh, I forget that there are teenagers. Yeah. They exist.
I wasn't listening to podcasts when I was 16.
Oh, I was, because I was, oh my god, I'm like not like most girls.
But yeah,
I mean, I definitely...
Kids, take everything we say with a grain of salt.
Yeah, like, I'm not, like, you shouldn't... Well, I don't think anyone wants to be like us. That's for sure. Nobody's expressed that, and I don't think it's gonna come up.
Okay.
But just... Yeah, I'm not... At the beginning of this podcast, we talked about how stupid we are, and now I'm just gonna talk about how bad I am. Like, I'm not the best person. And also my opinions are kind of garbage. And anecdotally, sometimes I say things about, shitting out Dunkin' Donuts iced coffee, and that don't do that. No, but I love when people comment on our stuff.
Yeah. Oh my god, my heart skips a beat.
And I'm like, oh, you're 16. That's really scary. Don't look at me.
You didn't perceive me. Don't listen to this. Yeah.
Oh my god, can we talk about how this is the second fucking Ewan McGregor movie we've watched that has diamonds are a girl's best friend?
I didn't know what to think. That it's such a weird little dream sequence too.
That I was came out of nowhere.
That I was just like, wait. Is this happening?
I was like,
is what I think is happening happening?
What is the correlation? Were they like, we gotta get Ewan because in Moulin Rouge, we saw how much he killed it back then. He's gonna do great here.
You think Margot Robbie could have played Satine in Moulin Rouge?
Yeah, oh yes, she
would have fucked it up.
I think that character would have been entirely different.
Yeah,
because I think Nicole Kidman plays the very like helpless.
Yeah,
like weak and frail and a little helpless.
Yeah.
Whereas I think Margot Robbie kind of has that like independent spirit about her and everything she plays.
Yeah.
Like I, Tanya, like I mean I hate to say girl boss, but like very like badass girl type energy. So I think maybe she could have brought a different take to Satine. Yeah, obviously, how old was she then though? Like 11?
Probably.
Did you know?
She's young.
She was so young.
She was only 21 or something like that in Wolf of Wall Street. Ah! Like that's older than me. Right now. Younger, sorry, younger than me.
I remember learning that and being like, holy shit.
Right?
What?
Like, she's starring next to Leonardo DiCaprio at 21 years
45,
old. Like, yeah.
It's so gross. So gross.
Absurd, yeah.
Yeah, I think she's awesome, though. I would like to think that she is a good person in real life. I would hope so.
I think so.
I always feel that way about celebrities, but then, every day you hear that people are monsters.
No, I think Margot Robbie is one that you could check off as like a good egg. In preparation for this, I watched a bunch of like Graham Norton interviews. I fucking love Graham Norton. She's the best too on those.
Yes,
I like her interviews on those. I watched one recently where she was like, "Yeah, I just didn't help my mom take care of a snake in our house once."
Like
which is like, oh, that's so Australian.
Graham Norton has what every American talk show host wants, which is just good vibes.
Bro, yeah.
Just like Jimmy Kimmel wishes he had the charisma and energy of Graham Norton, because people show up to Graham Norton and they just hang out. Yeah. And it's so good.
They just tell some funny stories. It's not forced. Yeah. I love that he has like 4 different guests on at the same time, so it's such an interesting mix. Yeah, casual conversation. Yeah, I fully, if you like a celebrity, I think, especially if they're from the UK, I think it's a very like British thing, but if you like a celebrity, my favorite thing to do is just Google their name and then Graham Norton and watch all their shit. Oh my God. It's so fun. Yeah. But yeah, I watched a bunch of Ewan McGregor, Graham Norton bits to kind of, I wanted to get a little insight on like him, not that his bits on a talk show would really give me much insight, but I knew his body of work and I knew we picked him to be the subject of this month, mostly for the pun, but also because we thought he was kind of underrated. Yeah. And we love Star Wars. True. But so I was like, yeah, let me get a little into Ewan McGregor and see what he's about, and he seems all right. Yeah. Everyone obviously presents themselves the way they want to be perceived on TV. Yeah, especially actors. But yeah, I'd like to think that Graham Norton is a good judge of character. I want to be on his red couch and I want to have a drink. I want to have a gin and tonic, and I just want to talk about how donkeys makes me shit. No, I would be more reserved for Graham. I would. I think we could have a really good time. Graham Norton. If you want to get on this podcast, we could do a back and forth. Like we're also recording you. It's who's interviewing who. Yeah. Oh my God. What's going on? It's the matrix of interviews. I don't even know what I would ask him. He is certainly my favorite he's late night talk show host. He is a regular judge on the UK Drag Race. Fuck. And it's so he's really good. Oh, I love the man. I'm like, Graham Norton, what do you know about drag? Graham Norton's one of those people that I would like trust with my life. Yeah. Like if it came down to it, I would put my eggs in that basket. Yeah.
But yeah, I think he's fully the best talk show host, and definitely worth checking out. I love like a good compilation or like best unlikely celebrity friendships on Graham Norton.
I know,
like compilations
right?
on YouTube. So
his
good.
YouTube is the best out of everyone else's too. He doesn't have like the little, because oh my god, American talk shows, they always have their little bits.
The bit.
They always have their bit. Like James Corden has carpool karaoke, and Jimmy Kimmel has what I stole my kid's Halloween candy or some shit like that, and Jimmy Fallon's just Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah.
He is his own bit.
I can't even watch those.
No.
Like, I can't do it. I can't participate in celebrity culture in that way.
But Graham Norton just has him sit down on a couch and hang out.
Yeah, it puts a few cocktails in him first. I think that's the key. Yeah. Yeah, the vibes are unmatched. Anyways, we're a little off here. I think
Sorry, I just love Graham Norton.
I think Graham Norton could have played the villain in this movie.
Yes. Oh my god, yeah.
Swap out Ewan for Graham.
Oh my god.
Graham, pick up an acting career. I think he could really rock it.
100%.
He needs to just be himself. But you know who else was up for this role? Sam Rockwell.
I would have hated that.
Yeah, and Nicolas Cage.
Oh my god.
Which out of all of that, I'm like, I'm glad they went with Ewan.
If it was Sam Rockwell, I would just have to assume that he's racist.
Yeah, in every movie. Like, is he about to say the N-word?
All he ever plays is a bigot.
He does a great job, though.
Yeah, he's got numerous Oscar nominations for it.
And I think Nicolas Cage, it would be an entirely different film if that were to be the case.
I couldn't have. I mean, this film's not supposed to be taken seriously, but I don't think if Nicolas Cage was in this film that I could
watch it with any level of seriousness.
Yeah.
But I guess that Diamonds Are... Is that the name of the song?
Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend, yeah.
I don't know.
I'm glad we came full circle.
Yeah.
Started the month off with Moulin Rouge and ended with this, and there's Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend.
I guess that song...
Old Reliable.
...was a lot... That musical number was a much bigger production, and all of the characters had, like, dancing parts and stuff, but they cut a lot of it because they were like, this feels a little out of place and it's weird, so we're just gonna do enough to have it there. Yeah. But I guess Ewan McGregor, like, got really into the dancing and, like, learned the whole dance.
Bro, he went right back to the Moulin Rouge set. He was... It's like...
He's having war flashbacks. Exactly. It's like, oh my god, I'm gonna get TB! Fuck! I gotta dance!
Nicole, where are you, Nicole?
But yeah, I guess they cut it, and I did find that scene very like, this is happening.
I wasn't mad about it though.
I wasn't mad in that this movie had a lot of those. Like the beginning was a cartoon. It started out with like a cartoon flashback, and then you get this whole like she's telling you the story in past tense. Like recounting the event, so it has a lot of like flashbacky type montage moments, and then this musical number in the middle. All of the anytime a new character is introduced, you get their name and then their grievances. Yeah, which is like kind of funny, but also just like a bit. This was very like let's do a lot of like hokey little bits, which again it was the vibe of the movie.
So it definitely added to it.
But yeah, it felt weird. I didn't love... The one that I had the most issue with was it being a whole flashback. That the movie was a story that she told, like, in the past tense. She's like, let me tell you about this thing that happened. And why do I want her to be Southern? I don't know. Because that just kind of took me out of it at times. Yeah. When you were like, she's narrating it. She's, like, the overvoiced narrator. And I'm kind of like... It was unnecessary. And it was kind of a lot. I guess they were just trying to make it like a consistent story arc. I don't really know.
One thing that really took me out of it was, this was, I think you said it, like, sort of like a mob movie and everything like that. And it didn't feel very much like a superhero movie. And then you get to the end of this big fight scene, right? And all the girls are out of bullets. They got nothing. They're running on empty. Rosie Perez has just been shot. It's a clusterfuck.
Hey, Canary, you know
do your thing.
You know that thing that you can do that you have not done yet this movie? Can you please do it now?
Pull it off. And then she goes full Fiona in Shrek and just shrieks at the top of her lungs and takes out all the bad guys.
Killing everyone on sight.
Yeah.
And it's implied that she... Oh, did you know that actress did all of the singing?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, those scenes when she was singing, that was actually her.
Wonderful voice.
She could really sing.
Yeah. Can she really scream like that?
Yeah, that was actually unscripted. That was improv.
Oh my god.
But so it's kind of implied because there's a scene in the club where she like hits a note
and the cracks the glass.
And it, like the room goes silent, it cracks the glass, and I thought that was just kind of like a funny cinema moment, like added effect.
It's a goofy movie. They would kind of do something. So
that's like your first indication that maybe there's a little something there, and then she can fight like a badass. Yeah. But then there was also this like kind of vague conversation between her and Rosie Perez, where Rosie was like, "Is that what your mom would have wanted you to do, or something?" And it's implied that
she was like, "Don't talk about my mom."
But she was like, "You guys are the same in that way or something." So I'm thinking that maybe her mom also is like an inherited, or maybe her mom died doing some sort of super villainy fighting. I would have to look into it. I'll have to look into it because I'm sure there's comic book lore about Black Canary or whatever. But yeah, it's so weird that nobody in this movie has powers, like quote unquote powers. Everyone is just like good at fighting. Yeah. Like Batman is just good. He's rich and good at fighting. The Joker is just mentally
I feel like that's a lot of what like the whole Gotham thing is. There's not so much superpowers, it's a lot of good fighters.
And like drama, you know? They're like, it's gonna be really theatrical.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I guess she can just fucking scream and at a frequency that kills people, or at least knocks them out.
Yeah,
it was so weird.
That took me out of it a bit. But then Harley Quinn proceeds to go and do this whole fight sequence on roller skates, so I was like, all right, I'm back in. I'm back in.
The thing that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, like, in addition to that, was the Huntress character felt very out of place to me. And, like, I wasn't too mad at it, and it kind of provided a structure for the movie as far as, like, it starts out with them being like, who is this crossbow killer? And, like, whatever, and she was a cool character, and I liked her little weapon, and it was fine. But just all those, like, flashbacks, there was, like, 5 minutes, it took up at least, like, 5 or 6 minutes
we just watched her family get killed over and over.
It could have been something that was explained over a couple lines of dialogue to me. Like, oh, my family's murder and connect. I don't know. I didn't think it had to be a whole cinematic breakdown of this one side character's relation to the events that are transpiring. I wouldn't have even been as bothered if she just showed up and was like, yeah, I have a crossbow and I heard that there was fighting. Here I am. I don't know. Like if she had just kind of shown up randomly, I think that it wouldn't have made any sense, but at least it wouldn't have taken up so much time like explaining to me that she was kidnapped and then raised in Italy, and then she trained herself, and then she gave herself a name, and she specifically wanted to get vengeance on the specific people that killed her family, and the fortune, she needs the diamond to get the fortune. Like, I guess maybe because there probably will be a third movie.
Yeah.
Because what's their group called?
Not Suicide Squad. Birds of Prey. The Birds of Prey? What are you talking about?
Birds of Prey. Yeah.
Okay.
There's gonna be a Birds of Prey. Oh, that's the name of this movie.
Yeah.
Whatever their group. I think there's gonna be a Rosie Perez, Huntress.
They are the Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
Those three, yeah.
I think there's definitely gonna be a third installment. Maybe not because this movie did so poorly, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was a third installment in the works about Harley.
Just those,
or maybe just those three, or Harley Quinn linked back up with them. I don't know. I think that it's supposed to be a trilogy because Suicide Squad is the first one. This is the second one, and I think that's supposed to be the third one. I don't really know.
Okay. I could get behind that. As long as there's no Jared Leto, then I'm fine.
Yeah,
I'm really fine.
Oh my god, I bet Hot Topic had a fucking field day with this movie. Are you kidding me? The merch,
for sure.
The Harley Quinn merch. It makes me ill.
Yeah.
The Daddy's
cosplays.
Little Monster.
Ugh.
I think you can have a tasteful respect for Harley Quinn as a character, and I don't even mind the cosplays. That's fun, Get into it, whatever. But if you're just gonna casually wear a Daddy's Little Monster Harley Quinn shirt. I don't know.
Yeah.
Keep it in your pants.
Yeah. I don't. It's okay. I don't mind the cosplays. I mind men's reactions to the cosplays.
Yeah, like you are doing exactly what they want you to do.
Yeah.
Which is a bummer. And just like those girls who that's their whole personality is that they do own the Harley Quinn section of Hot Topic.
Yeah.
Like the whole kit and caboodle. I think just pick a cooler character to be obsessed with.
Yeah.
She's fine.
Yeah.
But especially after Suicide Squad, I'm like, that's your takeaway.
Yeah.
That you really like Harley Quinn. I don't know, whatever.
I'd say Black Canary was the cooler character in this.
Oh, yeah.
Also, personally, I really enjoyed Huntress's character.
Yeah, I know she's like big in the DC universe. I know she's in that show, like The Flash or one of those like DC TV series or whatever. My parents are really into them.
The CW ones.
Yeah, she's like a character. Not Ramona Flowers, not that actress specifically, but just like Huntress as a character.
That was really weird seeing her like that. I haven't seen her since like 2007 in that movie, and then it's like, oh my god, it's Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Yeah.
What are you doing here?
Just popping up. But I really liked the kind of awkward energy she still brought.
No, it was
very much, she was like, hey, can I join your group?
It's like, I can either leave, or if you want me to stay, I can stay, I guess.
She's like, I like the way you kicked really high in those tight pants. And I was like, yes!
Yeah, she just got really mad at some points, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, I like you. Like, unreasonably pissed off.
I just think the real star of this movie was the taxidermy beaver.
I don't think you're wrong.
I just, the moment it popped up, you and I both, like, held our breath a little bit, and we were like, oh, this is really good. That's what Hot Topic should have.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Sell me a little, like a Popo Funk. Is that what they're called?
Funko Pop.
Funko Pop?
Yeah.
Sell me a Funko Pop of the taxidermied beaver in a tutu.
Yeah, and then I'm fine.
That's what I want. That's the merch I want from this movie. I liked, though, the costuming for this movie so much more than the way they dressed Harley Quinn in the Suicide Squad. If you're gonna base any of your personal style off of Harley Quinn,
do it in this one.
Watch this movie instead. Like, I think
she's a lot more campy in this one,
yeah,
which I like.
And like, it looks like she dressed herself. Like, I don't know. I believe that somebody would want to dress like that. You know, a big glittery coat and, you know, fun. I really liked the pantsuit in the Madonna, the pink the Madonna, but it was a pantsuit and I really liked a lot of her outfits.
The gold overalls.
Yes,
those were
for the
probably
fight
my favorite
scene.
ones.
Yeah, I think this was like realistically a way somebody would, you know, dress themselves in a fun way.
Yeah.
Whereas
like if I was going to a festival or something like that. Yeah.
But whereas in the Suicide Squad one, I think it was very, like, male-gazy.
Yeah.
Like, she's in booty shorts, and she's gonna...
The fishnets! Like, oh my god.
Which, again, like, it's fine, but I think this movie was a lot better.
Oh, yeah.
I believe that the costuming was done by women, and I also know that the hair specifically, I think it was the actress who played Canary, who, when they were kind of discussing the general vibe, she was like, yeah, you can get somebody to do my hair, but they have to be black. Like, she's like, if you're gonna fuck with my hair like that, like, it has to be a black person who knows what they're doing. And they were like, okay, cool. So then they hired on the hair people, and which was, like, cool that her input was taken seriously in that way. Because I think that you can tell that this movie was something that was kind of, like, collaborative. Like, I know a lot of the actors had, like, voice in how they wanted their characters and, like, the scripting. I think it was very much, like, a team effort. And, like, the director, too, her and Margot Robbie, like, working really closely with each other. I mean, not to say that that's not the case for a lot of other movies, but I think because they were trying to do something with this whole, like, feminizing the genre, they, like, wanted it to be as progressive and as good as possible.
Yeah, speaking of sort of, like, I don't want to call them villains, but I'd suppose they're more the bad guys all these girls are playing. I mean, and just because it's popped in my head and it's an upcoming movie, what do you think about, was it the new Cruella de Vil movie?
Like, I'm here for Disney not just remaking it. If they were like, live action 101 Dalmatians, I'd be like, ugh, snooze. Yeah. And I think Emma Stone always brings something to the table.
I'm really excited for her.
I don't really know if the story, like, brings a lot of draw to me. Like, as I watch it, like, she was, like, what, like, an ex-fashion designer, gone villainess. Like, it seems a little, I don't know, whatever. I'll probably wait till it comes out and see what people... I mean, I have Disney Plus. If it's free, I'll probably just watch it. I do just think that, like, Glenn Close is so iconic. So, like, let's just keep that.
Yeah, I sent you a tweet recently, and it was, like, Glenn Close saying, like, yeah, I want to do another Cruella movie where she's moved to the sewers.
Yeah! Yes! Yes,
like, I'm here for that, but, Yeah, no, because I've seen a lot of people being like, "Oh, this is the female Joker," and I'm like, nothing will ever be the female Joker. Are you kidding me?
The female Joker would be if they made
a female
Joker. Like, oh my god. Just because it's a movie about a person who deals with some sort of mental trauma or something, like comment on society, quote unquote, whatever. A movie that focuses on a villain aren't all inherently the same.
Yeah, it's not a Joker story for girls. Ew. Like that's a reach, but I've seen and heard quite a few men call it that, and I was like, I would never want a female Joker. I don't need that. You guys need that.
Oh my god, do you know what I do need though?
What?
And that I'm getting? Rob Pattinson as Batman.
I also need that.
2022, yes. Baby. I am so excited. That movie has one of the cast that excites me the most of any upcoming project.
Paul Dano
motherfucking Dano as the Riddler. I am going to lose my mind.
Zoe Kravitz is Catwoman too.
I will not be able to take it.
Yeah, no.
I'm gonna have to leave. I'm gonna have to excuse myself. There's no way I make it through that movie. I'm just really excited, and I hope that it does well, and I hope that they don't try to just like make it so gritty that it ends up being patronizing. But I love Rob Pattinson, and I am really excited for him to live his Batman fantasy.
Yeah. I think it was his birthday today, maybe? It might be. We're recording this on May 13th. So, hold on. Robert Pattinson. Yeah, May 13th. Happy birthday, Robert Pattinson.
Wow. A king, a legend, a voice of the people for our time.
Yeah.
Come on the pod. You can be you and Graham Norton and us. We can have a
that would be a great.
We can eat his spaghetti recipe.
Yeah.
His cursed spaghetti recipe.
Hey, if I'd do anything for Robert Pattinson, I'd try that spaghetti.
That's true.
So should we get into our regular scheduled programming?
Yes, Fuck, Marry, Kill is so hard. This is a movie full of hot people.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing yet.
Okay, so let's do like the 3 lady bosses.
Like the actual Birds of Prey without Harley Quinn, or
I was gonna exclude Rosie Perez because she is a cop.
Yeah,
I guess.
Okay, I'm gonna marry Canary. I'm gonna fuck Huntress. Do you see her in that leather?
Ooh. I love her eye makeup.
Yeah.
Her kind of like smeared glittery moment. Yeah. Really good.
And nothing against Harley Quinn. I just couldn't handle all of that. So I have to kill her.
I think I'm going.
She'd probably kill me before I'd be able to kill her, but
I cannot match that energy.
It's a lot. I'm a Taurus. She's I'm
totally a Cancer.
I'm too laid back.
Similarly, I think I will marry Huntress because she got that money now, and I think
marrying her.
Yeah, I'm gonna marry Huntress, and I think her weapon is so cool.
Yeah.
A little handheld crossbow. That's really and
that's true.
I feel like we'd vibe. I'm also a little awkward.
Yeah.
I practice in the mirror before introducing myself to people.
That's very fair.
I get it. I'm gonna fuck Canary because by God is she hot, and then I'm gonna also kill Harley Quinn. I don't know how.
I can't handle it.
I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but
it's nothing against the character. It's just I don't know what to do with that. That's above my pay grade.
the whole movie. This is kind of tough too.
I mean,
I guess. I think I'm gonna. I mean, it isn't unreasonable to just stick with what's already been said.
They're all the hottest ones.
Yeah, for sure. And it's not like I'm not gonna fuck the Ewan McGregor character here because he's evil.
I would fuck Rosie Perez.
Yeah, she needs it. She's tired.
Yeah, she's had a long week. Like, just lay down, Rosie.
I feel like just like a glass of wine and like a nap. That's what she needs. But I think I might kill Ewan McGregor's sidekick sidekick guy. I don't remember his name. It started with a Z, I think, or something.
Yeah, I don't.
He was kind of his vibes were bad, and then I also didn't like the
misogynist.
Yeah, I did not like the point where he was like holding Harley Quinn's like her face when she was
calling her a good girl.
Yeah, I don't like that.
No.
So I think I'm gonna kill him.
Yeah,
and then I will keep my answers for fucking Mary.
I think I'd fuck Rosie Perez, and then I would also kill that guy. And then Mary. Yeah, Canary. Yeah.
Yeah, let's see why not. She deserves it. She also seems like she's had a hard week.
She had a really hard week. Her morals were really called into question. And so what would we pair with this movie? Because I think the obvious food answer is...
egg sandwich!
To get a breakfast sandwich.
Absolutely.
I had a breakfast sandwich while we watched this, and let me tell you, it really hit the spot.
Yeah, I think the, like, gratuitous shots of, like, eggs being cooked, how can you not? How can you not just, like, crave a bacon, egg, and cheese from a bodega?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I think for sure bacon, egg, and cheese.
But also, what cocktail do you pair with bacon, egg, and cheese?
I would say if you're going the breakfast route, you could always do something orange juice based. So you could do like mimosas or like a screwdriver. There are a lot of
if you like savory stuff, I guess you can do a Bloody Mary, but that's a lot of savory.
Yeah, or like coffee cocktails. Could put something in your coffee.
Like I know a mudslide or something.
My preference is amaretto in the coffee. But I know you can go Bailey's, you can go Frangelico, you can go...
I do like some Bailey's.
There's a lot of different ways to go. So you can do it, coffee cocktail. If you're doing the breakfast thing, there's also just so many scenes. There's margaritas are featured in this movie.
There are margaritas.
I don't... Like, a margarita and an egg sandwich...
Sounds wrong.
But maybe it would feel right.
Yeah, hey, I don't know. Who's to say?
I mean,
they did go out for tacos after, so you could just do...
Mexican, yeah. You could have tacos.
And margaritas. That would at least be a good pairing.
Prune juice cocktail? No way.
Just take laxatives.
Yeah, just fuck around and like. Do you ever do that? It's like, I'm gonna have a wild day today.
No.
Like I'm having a slow day. Let me just pop a few.
Do you?
No. Me never.
Me
no,
never.
I just drink a Dunkies. That's all I need. And then, I guess you could. Honestly, you can drink anything because they just like down alcohol in multiple scenes throughout this whole movie. Like martinis, margaritas, shots.
Yeah, just whatever works for you in a breakfast sandwich.
Yeah. Oh,
I'd say a screwdriver. Personally, I would go with a screwdriver.
I think mimosas are fun.
Yeah.
I like a mimosa. And
do a peach Bellini. If you want to get really fancy.
Is that a breakfast drink?
Yeah, it's like the mimosa's cousin, I suppose.
The peach Bellini. I've had them, but I never really associated them with breakfast. I mean, but mimosas. Mimosas are for all times of the day. This could be like a brunch viewing. You could do like a little brunch moment. Yeah. But egg sandwich, fuck up an egg sandwich literally any way you want. Like, I love a personalized egg sammy. I love a little
avocado on it.
Oh, yes. The one I had this morning was fried egg.
Yeah.
I like the yolk to be runny.
Yep, as you should.
That's my preference. Bacon. Cheddar cheese.
Yes.
Sriracha mayo. Avocado.
Nice.
Arugula.
Yeah. You ever put a hash brown on it?
Yes, when I'm like hungover, those little patties.
Yep.
The ones that are a patty and you put them in the oven or the air fryer. And you just stick a hash brown in the middle of your egg sandwich. That will fuck your shit up.
Yeah. My roommates and I recently just splurged on a pack of 20 hash browns from Aldi's, and it's gonna be a really exciting time in my house.
Or I feel like maybe you could do I'm thinking tater tots with a top.
You could do a breakfast bowl.
Yeah,
like hash browns or tater tots or whatever. Like some bacon and egg crumbled in there.
Yeah,
and all that.
I don't know. I could fuck around. But the breakfast sandwich is king in this movie.
You need bacon, an egg, and a carb.
Yeah,
and that's
what is your vehicle of preference for
a breakfast sandwich?
Yeah.
So I usually just go with a bagel because it's the most structurally sound for a breakfast sandwich, but I do really enjoy a what's the muffin? English muffin. Yeah, an English muffin.
Do you ever get the jumbo-sized ones from the store? They're they're like this big.
Oh, that's hot.
And it's like a big old English muffin. Yeah, I love my regular coffee house order is on an English muffin.
That's nice.
Which I really like. I usually go for a sourdough because
I do like a good sourdough.
I used to be an everything bagel, but
Stan.
But my jaw clicks when I eat, and it's too much. It's too much strain on my soft teeth.
Yeah,
my soft jaw.
See, soft ones are good, but also I'll get like sometimes I'll go really crazy and I'll be like, yeah, put it on a croissant, and then it just falls apart.
You have to be ready to like eat like an animal if you're getting your breakfast sandwich. That's on a croissant.
That's like a 2-bite sandwich.
And it's soft. Like it's gonna fall apart.
Exactly.
I like a bulky roll.
Yeah.
To follow up this movie,
I have no idea.
Like, honestly, I think you need to, like, step away from the genre.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think you gotta watch something else.
Do you think it's something chaotic or something to tone it down?
I think you can match the energy, but like, in a different movie. Like, honestly, a Scott Pilgrim, I think, would be a fun follow-up for this, if you're gonna do... I think, like, that kind of, like, campy, fun movie.
I agree. Like, Scott Pilgrim could be fun.
Like, plus following it up with just, like, another superhero movie is, like...
It's too much.
Okay,
it's too
like,
much.
I'm over it.
Like, this movie doesn't take itself too seriously, but a lot of other superhero movies do, and you can't find another one that...
You can't follow this up with The Dark Knight.
You could do Deadpool.
Yeah, that's true.
You could do Deadpool.
That's true. I mean, I personally would just rather watch Deadpool.
Yeah.
Like, that would be my... If you were like, we can either watch Birds of Prey or Deadpool, I'd be like, well, let's watch Deadpool.
Yeah.
But that's not the situation here. And then what would you rate this out of 10?
I'm gonna give it a 5.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say like 4.5, 5. I agree.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it 4.
Yeah.
I think it was fine. It did what it needed to do. It was entertaining. It was fun. It wasn't anything special. It didn't blow me out of the water. I'm not gonna go tell everyone to watch it. If people are like, hey, have you seen Birds of Prey? I will say yes.
That's it.
Because it's the truth.
No more, no less. I've seen it. That's all.
Yeah.
And that's all.
And that's all. Thank you for listening. We are The Swamp. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter at The Swamp Pod, on TikTok at The Swamp Podcast, our website, theswamppodcast.com. You can email us, theswamppod@gmail.com. We love everything. You could send us hate mail, and I would say, they care. They care enough.
They took the time.
Yeah, right. And we also have merch up. We got some tote bags and some stickers and some pins, lots of fun stuff.
Yeah. Let us know if you want other merch.
Yeah, t-shirts, beanies,
mugs,
postcards. I don't know. I don't know what y'all want, but
a lock of my hair.
Right. Anyways, thanks for listening. Hit us up. What do you think we should
do next? Next month we're doing LGBTQ movies.
It's Pride Month next month, and so we're gonna pick some gay movies.
Let us know what you want to hear.
We're mostly probably just gonna pick movies about white lesbians, because that's really all that's on the table right now.
Yeah.
So like, you know, if you
have any good suggestions that are not
about white lesbians,
please enlighten us, because we're grasping at straws here.
Or just, it doesn't even, also just for the future, any movies that you're like, I would really like to hear them talk about my favorite movie, which is... I don't know why you'd want to hear us talk about it. You probably know everything already.
We'll probably just offend you.
But I literally keep a running list of every time somebody messages me, says to me in person anything like, hey, you guys should do this movie. I like this movie. I write them all down, I promise. So everyone, even if you comment on our TikToks, if you comment on anything, I write them all down, because we really do so appreciate it. And so let us know what you think about Ewan McGregor. It's over.
I had a blast.
If we were gonna do a whole month based on another actor or actress, director, who
would you want us to cover?
Yeah. So thanks.
Thanks
for
a lot.
listening.